Good Cheer yesterday, the Oaks, compared to your first two?
Well, they're all very special. They were all very different. I felt like, but they're all very meaningful. And she came out of it in great order. She looked fantastic this morning. She's just ultra consistent, very sound filly. That's been very consistent is probably the biggest word. That she's undefeated and continues to stack race on top of race, and just an incredible race record. I mean, just to look down at her past performances and see 7 starts and 7 ends. It's an amazing accomplishment.
There's almost no other barn that would be able to have an unbeaten 2-year-old filly champion go to the sidelines and come back with an unbeaten 3-year-old well on her way to being a champion, win the Kentucky Oaks. Put that in perspective.
Well, I have to start with thanking Godolphin for the opportunity. Obviously, very good fillies that have, incredible pedigrees and raised right. And Sheikh Mohammed's program is just world class, and showed up yesterday. But yeah, to have both fillies, 11 for 11, won a champion, and hopefully Good Cheer can, maybe end up 3-year-old champion. We also, once again, Immersive's back breezing. Excited about her and what lies ahead for her, and we'll see how it plays out over the next 4 or 5 months.
Do you see them taking separate paths?
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough big races to separate them, but we're hopeful to be in that position at some point.
Immersive hasn't had the chance to race at 3, but since it is the same ownership, can we ask you, who's better?
I know who's a better 2-year-old, and I know right now I know who's a better 3-year-old. So look, what Immersive did last year was incredible. I mean, to win 3 Grade 1s as a 2-year-old, I mean, it's just it's almost unheard of. It's been done, but it's a tremendous amount in a short period of time. So she's a champion, and very proud of her. And look, at Cheers, she's very good. She's undefeated, but she's got the 1 Grade 1. We're looking forward to again what lies ahead.
That is amazing that was her first Grade 1, which just goes to show how they undervalue the Fairgrounds Oaks.
Yeah, exactly, and even maybe the Rachel, for that matter. It seems to be, both races seem to be very productive, especially the Rachel. So it's something that probably the Graded Stake community can take a hard look at, and comparing it to some of the other Graded Stakes, it probably needs to be upgraded.
Can you compare it, not to say who's better, but just compare the two of them?
Oh, they're very different. Obviously, Immersive started around 1 3/4 of Saratoga, and then was able to win 1.78. We thought she'd stretch. She did in the Alcibiades, and then obviously the Breeders' Cup. Good Cheer's one we thought from the start that we need to get her around 2 turns. She wasn't quite as quick out of the gate as Immersive. So they're very they're both very good, but there's definitely some difference in the two of them.
For growing up, you thought about the Derby a lot and stuff, being the homeboy, as it's been chronicled. But what about the Kentucky Oaks? I mean, where has that always sort of been on your radar over the years?
Obviously, growing up here, it meant a lot. Obviously, we didn't have to go to school on Friday, so that was good. But look, it's a very special race. It's a hard race to win. I would admit it's probably not as hard as the Derby. I mean, you're running against 13 other fillies, where the Derby you have to run against 19 other folks most of the time. And it's just it's a very they're both very tough to get to, let alone win. But horses like her, very good horses, put you in a position to do it.
I guess it's been a week ago. It seems like it's been forever. Tapan Street got hurt, and that had to be a real blow. Put in perspective the whole week, the highs, the lows, or the lows, the highs.
It's part of it, and I do think that experience. I've been training 20 years, and the experience of this, the ups and downs. You don't get is like listen, Tapan Street was a setback, but my immediate attention turns towards how do we fix it. We obviously do our X-rays, we stabilize, and before the X-ray machine's up, I'm already calling a van. I've got somebody else calling the clinic. I mean, we know how to get through this. So there's no time to sit around and feel sorry for yourself. You're moving forward. You're trying to, get him in the position he needs to be in to get him fixed. And we did that. We executed that. And Dr. Bramwich did the surgery. It sounds like it went extremely well. He's back at WinStar. They've got a great rehab facility. So, very excited about, him coming back. And, once again, with yesterday being a high with Good Cheer, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's great. It's a victory that we'll always remember. It's a moment that'll last a lifetime. But also, I'm already starting to think about her next race and how to prepare for it, making sure we can have her as good, whatever race that is, as we had her yesterday. So, it's constant work, but it's a labor of love, and it's a very, days like yesterday's, it's why you do it.
You haven't won a Preakness. That's about the only thing you haven't won now. You won the Derby even.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Derby's something that, and I would love to win a Preakness, but the Derby's something that we obviously, we have Mandaloon, but we want to experience the thrill of the victory. And until then, I feel like we need to win another one. On the turf course yesterday, and I said I'd like to be on that podium tomorrow around this time. But I think we have a big shot. This horse is doing very well. If he gets a clean trip and he takes it to the track, I think we'll get excited. Well, I will say this: these races are incredibly hard to win. It's like Breeders' Cup Derby weekend, and I think when you can win one, it does take a little pressure off for sure. So we obviously won yesterday. We'd like to pick up a few today, whether they're lounge races. So we want to win the big one, but we've got some live shots with just Giant Mischief and Marie, obviously.
Final Gambit, but you're really thinking that maybe he moves up on.
Machado told me he's better on the dirt, so we'll see. He's working better this year on it than he did last fall. That's one reason that led me to start him on the turf. All of our feedback from Tyler Gaffleone last fall and Machado throughout the winter was positive. And the mile and a quarter, it's something that he wants more ground.
Off track, just the sense that grass horses sometimes off track.
Yeah, it's a good tight track. He should be able to skip over it. If it's like it is now, I don't know. Obviously, more wet weather, it's hard to say, but he should take to it.